Are going live. Hello, hello. Danny Spee is Clean and Delicious, guys. We are live on Facebook and YouTube. So I'm going to be doing my best to look in the center here. But I'll be able to see your comments as they come up on the screen. So let me know that you can hear me. Let me know that the sound is okay. And as you pop in, say hello. Let me know who's watching and let me know where you're watching from. So every Friday we go live. Today I am doing a live Q&A. Basically, I want you guys to bring your questions about health, food, cooking, weight loss, body love. Any of those topics are game. Now, I put this out on social media before I went live with you guys. So I have, okay, good. All the comments are coming up. Hey, guys, I see everybody saying hello. I see Amanda, Sandra on YouTube. I see Tara on Facebook. Oh, good. Looks good. Sounds good. Okay. Thank you guys for the feedback. So if anybody has questions, feel free to pop them in, and I'm going to do my best to answer as many as I can, in the next 20 to 30 minutes. Now, I do have some that I got from social media, so I'm going to start with some of those, and then I'll look into your questions and comments as well. I did see someone just ask what I think about stevia, though. I love stevia, actually. I think that when you are trying to cut back on sugar, and you don't want to do anything chemical or artificial, stevia is a great option because it is plant-based and it doesn't affect blood sugar levels. So I do think it's a good choice when it comes to sweeteners. But like I've mentioned in some of my other videos, I think the name of the game when it comes to sugar is to kind of reduce our overall desire to have sugar. So if you're doing a lot of sugar substitutes, you're still not backing the palate off of sugar, right? So what we want to do is kind of train our palate to appreciate naturally sweet foods. Rachel, do I ever indulge in real ice cream? Yeah, absolutely, especially in the summer when it's hot. Okay, so I'm going to start with a couple of questions that I have here and continue to ask as you guys come on and out. I see Sparkly, what do I think of the ketogenic diet? I think it's very popular right now. I think that it's very effective scientifically for weight loss. But I also think that it's very hard to sustain, in which case it's not effective for weight loss, right? So I think that if it's something that you can be comfortable with and really do for the long run, then it's definitely worth investigating. But I do think for a lot of people it feels too restrictive. And then it can put us in that diet mentality, which is the opposite of what we want, right? Because like I always talk about, the key to long-term sustainable weight loss is doing things that you can live with and that you can enjoy. Because if you can't, one of my favorite weight loss coaches always says, lose it the way you want to live it. Meaning, if it's not something you want to do for the rest of your life, don't bother trying to implement it for a week or two. You got to look for little changes that you're willing to do for a long time. And then those little steps turn into bigger steps as time passes on, okay? Mindy wants to know, what do I think about intermittent fasting? Again, my research, I think that it can be really good. And I think even just doing something like that once a week can benefit the body and train the body to pull from its natural fat stores, which would result in weight loss. But, all of these theories, you always have to apply to yourself and see how are they working for you and your body. For some people, it triggers overeating at night and then they fast in the morning. In that case, I wouldn't say a great idea. But if you are truly stopping at 6 or 7 o'clock at night and just pushing your first meal to 10 or 11 or 12, I think it can be really effective for weight loss. But before I would start intermittent fasting, I would check to make sure all my basics were in place. Like, are you drinking your water? Are you cutting back on processed foods? Are you moving your body? So are you kind of doing the baseline basics before I would start adding in things of that nature? Everybody on YouTube, do me a favor as you're watching, give this video a thumbs up, because this way I know that we are working here. Okay, I thought the static was my headphones. Great tip. Okay, Facebook, am I staticky? Okay, it's gone. Good. All right. All right, guys, so I'm going to read one of the questions that I got from Instagram earlier today. It was from Akinsna. She's watching from Germany, and she said, now I'd like to know what you suggest for all of us who are emotional eaters. I usually eat healthy food all day long, but then I tend to crave sugar and candy late at night, especially when I'm feeling sad, disappointed, or lonely. And I think this is a great question, and I think it's something that everybody on some level can probably relate to. I know I can. I think that first, I think it's really important to note that everybody on some level is an emotional eater, right? Emotions drive our actions, and oftentimes when we feel a certain way, we eat a certain way, right? So it's not a bad thing, right? I also think that a lot of people learn to comfort emotions by eating. And what I love about that is a lot of people call it self-sabotage. I've really come to understand it as our best attempt at self-care, meaning you don't feel well, you eat some food, it makes you feel better. Even though it's very temporary, the intention is of self-care. The thing is that it doesn't really work for the long haul, right? Because what happens is, let's say you feel sad or lonely, you eat some food, it distracts you for a moment from that emotion. It feels good for a moment from that emotion, but then once you're done eating, now not only are you still sad and lonely, but you are full, right? So to me, the practice becomes learning to stay with feelings, right? So like you said in your question here, sad, disappointed, or lonely, and you're turning to food, you need to recognize that feeling and ask, what do you actually need, right? What do you need for yourself when you're feeling sad or lonely or disappointed? Because it's like, think of a little kid who's sad, right? And you're just like, oh yeah, here, have some Twizzlers. Just have some Twizzlers and you feel better, right? It's almost like a disservice, and that's what we do to ourselves. Rather than learning to lean into the emotion and to be curious with ourselves and our experiences, I think a lot of people think that when they have negative emotions that it's a bad thing and we're not supposed to have them, right? But just like the sun comes up and the sun goes down, sometimes we feel good and sometimes we feel bad. And our emotions are always an indicator. It is always information for us to figure out what direction we want to go in, what we're needing from ourselves. So the bottom line is I would get very curious about the emotion you're having in the first place, and then ask yourself, you know, what do I need right now? What am I disappointed about? And how can I make myself feel better about disappointment, right? Because the food is literally, it's just a distractor, and it's just it's like a buffer. So that would be my take on that. Shirley says, I'm an emotional eater, but then the guilt hits. Right, Shirley, and that's exactly it. Because all emotional eating does, when we're eating to tend to an emotion, we're really just buffering. We are sidestepping what's actually going on for us, right? So like I like to think of it, when you think of yourself like you're talking to your best friend or to a little girl or to somebody who is very meaningful to you, and like you would inquire, you would love them, you would be curious with them, right? You wouldn't just be like, here, have a donut. And that's what we do to ourselves. So practicing being with emotion is the biggest and most effective thing we could do to start to lean out of emotional eating. Okay. Now, of course, I saw tons of questions coming up while I was answering that, and now I don't see any coming up. So let me pull them up. If I hit that, oh, no, that was the wrong button. Okay. What is your opinion on cheat days and how often? That's what Eileen wants to know. I don't like cheat days, and I don't like the concept of cheat days, because I think that the practice of long-term health and or weight loss is being in relationship with ourselves on a daily basis, meaning we make decisions for self-care on a daily basis. And sometimes self-care means I'm going to have ice cream, or I'm going to sit on the couch with popcorn and watch Housewives, or I'm going out for pizza. Sometimes that's what it is, right? But I think what a cheat day does, it basically sets us up to cheat on ourselves. It like sets us up to be like, okay, everything I'm working on doesn't count today. So to me, it's an invitation for disconnection. And again, great health, sustainable weight loss, it's about connection to and with self and the body. So anything that pulls you away from that, I don't recommend. I think a cheat day is another way that we play the game of dieting with ourselves. Okay, so that's my take on that. April, do you have any experience with muscle gain? Now you have to explain to me what exactly you mean with that. If you mean how to gain muscle, I mean, yeah, I've done some strength training in my day, and I've definitely gained more muscle than I used to have years ago by, lifting weights. I often recommend, I know people get really big on the protein thing, like eat a ton of protein. I don't think it's necessary. I think we need to eat some protein and lots of vegetables and good healthy fats. But I think strength training will absolutely help with muscle gain. And there's 101 different ways to do it. Depends on exactly what you're looking for. Well, we're just adjusting the camera, guys. Hi, Danny. I love your videos. One thing I haven't seen you discuss is alcohol. I'd love some healthy cocktail recipes to hear your tips on. How do you incorporate alcohol into your diet? Ooh, fitting in a glass of wine. That's all I can see. I can't see the rest of the question, but I think I get the point, Thea. I love alcohol. I think that you can work it in, and I think it depends again, what are your specific goals? I think there's a difference between enjoying a cocktail and getting drunk. You know what I'm saying? So if someone's like, oh, it's Friday and I'm drinking, that's going to be a problem with reaching health and weight loss goals. If you're like, it's Friday and I'm going to enjoy 1 or 2 glasses of wine, or I'm going to have a margarita, or you'd have to go, the margarita, you don't like the mixers, or I'm going to do whatever your cocktail is. Definitely I would avoid like sugary cocktails. I'd stick to clear liquor, wine, things of that nature. But I do think like a couple of drinks is fine when you are trying to, especially going sustainably, right? So I think it's doable. The difference between enjoying a cocktail and drinking, that's where I would take my attention. The other thing I would say is if you are really trying to lose weight, I would plan your cocktail, right? Like, so like, okay, during the week, I'm gonna keep it clean and delicious, and then come Saturday night, I'm going out with my girlfriends and I'm gonna have 2 drinks. Like, make the decision ahead of time so that you don't get caught in a moment. That's number 1. And number 2, don't react and drink. Like, that's something I work on all the time during the week, because sometimes that 5 to 8 o'clock, if you have kids, it's like the best idea in the world seems like wine. And I often think to myself, if I don't plan for it, then I'm not going to have it, because I know that's just me reacting to a moment. And me having wine while I'm, getting dinner ready for my kids and doing all that, it's not really enjoyable. It's like a little mini escape. So I do recommend that when you're going to have a cocktail, plan it in a way that you're going to be present, you're going to be enjoying it, and you're not using it as some type of emotional buffer or escape. Make sense, guys? Okay, I hope that was helpful. What made me, I lost it. Okay. What do I think about kombucha? Lassie, I didn't get your whole name. I love kombucha. I actually have some in the refrigerator right now. I think it's great. I think it's a great probiotic. I think it's like when you want something other than water, it's got a lot of flavor. Most of them are pretty low in sugar. I'm a huge fan, huge fan. What's going on with my comments over here? Okay, there we go. Okay, guys. All right. Good stuff. All right, I'm going to take one of the questions I pulled from social media today, guys. What's my favorite probiotic brand, Rachel? I really like Kavita. I like Kavita. That's probably, they have more intense ones at the grocery store, but I really like, you ugly, your daddy's son. Thank you, Cameron. I like Kavita, and it has a lot of good flavors. Okay. So Luis from Facebook asked me, Luis, my workout coach recommended I cut down a lot of sugar and carbs because they are also sugar too, to aid with my weight loss. But I find that this is very hard to do. Without carbs, I am so hungry all of the time. Any thoughts? Yeah, I think that I'm very pro-carb, but I think it's like, obviously you want to think of the type of carbs you're having. So I'm all for like any carb that comes from the planet, that comes from Earth, that comes from nature, which includes white potatoes. I think the higher quality the carb, the better it's going to be for you. But I also think if you're working out, working carbs into your diet is very important. And if you're trying to not eat carbs and you're feeling tired and worn down all the time, to me, that's your body signaling to you that you might need a little bit more carbohydrate in your life. So try not to overcomplicate it. You know what I mean? Like, have a little, see how you feel. And instead of trying to follow the rules that are in your mind and that your trainer and other people are telling you, try to tune into your body and see. So you pulled way back on carbs, and then you're like, okay, I'm feeling tired and hungry all the time. Okay, that's good to know. Try working in a little bit of carb. And try different ones. Try the sweet potato, try oatmeal, try rice, and you notice how your body reacts. Remember, vegetables are carbohydrates, fruits are carbohydrates. So carbohydrates come in a lot of different forms. So I would first, baby step, I would say get the highest quality you can, meaning mostly from nature. as least processed as possible, and then tune into your body and see how it is feeling. Got that? Okay. How to eat during pregnancy to avoid gaining so much weight. Reem, is that what you're showing me? How to eat during pregnancy to avoid gaining so much weight. So that's an interesting question, because I think that some people, the body naturally responds to pregnancy by putting on extra weight as a way to support the body during pregnancy, and some people don't. When I was pregnant, I did not treat my eating that much differently than I did when I'm not pregnant. What I would say is focus on nourishment. Focus on nourishment. Like, think about real whole foods. Think about foods that fuel your body and give yourself energy. Catch yourself if you slip into a mentality of like, oh, well, I'm pregnant, I can just. Oh, well, I'm pregnant, I can just. Because what happens when people do that is that you have 10 months of creating this habit, right? Of having dessert all the time or doing whatever it is you give yourself permission to do because you're telling yourself you're pregnant. And I think what gets hard about that is after the baby's born, now you've got this habit to contend with. So I wouldn't worry so much about eating so drastically different when you're pregnant. I would focus on nourishment and listening to your body and give your body permission to go where it needs to go, right? It is an ebb and flow of life. You're growing a life in your body, and then when you're done, it'll shift and it will change, and you will deal with, okay, how do I do my body after pregnancy? So just take it step by step. So I hope that helps a little bit. Which one are you showing me? My husband's feeding me questions. They all went away. I didn't see him. Tell me what it was.
Is eating 100% organic really worth it?
Okay, is eating 100% organic really worth it? Okay, love this question. I think of health and food and wellness and weight loss as a set of stairs, right? So absolutely, do I think organic food and quality food is better for the body? Absolutely. Is it more sustainable? Most times, yes. Is the soil richer? Does it have more nutrients and vitamins? Yeah, I believe that it does. With that being said, does that mean if you can't and don't buy organic all the time, it's not worth eating fruits and vegetables? Absolutely not. I think we all have to look at where we are and take a step in the direction of where we want to go. I think you could live a perfectly healthy life, reach your health and weight loss goals or wellness goals, whatever they are, and never eat one organic food, and you would be perfectly fine. I think when all of the food labels start to create stress, it becomes stressful. And then it actually is counterbalancing what we are trying to do with our health. So I would say if you are interested in looking towards working organics in, and it's something you're flirting with, go to the Dirty Dozen. You know, they have that on the environmental working groups, their website. They have the Dirty Dozen. It's basically the top 12 fruits and vegetables that they recommend getting organic. And it's usually thin-skinned fruits and vegetables like strawberries and bell peppers. So it's a good way to experiment, to work it in if you don't want to go all organic. But with that being said, remember guys, the best thing we could do when it comes to eating well and health is to be on our own side. Meaning, if you're not eating organic and you're not doing that, then that's fine. Then just let it be and praise yourself and give yourself props for all the things that you are doing. And I definitely would still eat all my fruits and veggies even if they were not organic. Okay, I got another question here. Okay, so Maggie from New Jersey, she says, what are your favorite self-care items, ideas, rituals, books, etc.? Okay, so, lots of different things, but let's just say in a nutshell, my favorite, like my morning routine is wake up and journal. That is definitely one of my favorite self-care techniques because I feel like it all starts in the mind. So when we wake up and see what's going on in our mind and get our head straight for the day, it's a great way to set yourself up from a self-care perspective. I also love like getting into nature, moving my body, eating clean and delicious most of the time. I'm spending time with girlfriends, my family, my husband, all of those things. But somebody recently asked me what do I think is a good way to start journaling, and if someone is interested in journaling and you're not sure where to start, a great place to start is with a gratitude journal. And you literally, in the morning, you wake up and you just name one thing you are grateful for, just one, and then 5 reasons why. Because when you start to go into the why of the thing you're listing, it actually brings you deeper and deeper into that gratitude, which sets you in like a great feeling space for the day. Okay, let's take a few more questions. We're at about 20 minutes here. Barb, I just found you a week ago and I've been watching your YouTube videos pretty much night and day. Thank you so much to both you and your hubby. Oh, you're welcome, Barb. That wasn't really a question. That was just a nice compliment. Thank you, Barb. Okay, Anna, how do you vary the different kind of meats that you eat during the week with meal prepping? I want variety, but it also seems expensive to cook different kinds of meat every night. So Anna, when it comes to meal prep and, can you like block people on this, B? I'm asking my husband. We'll have to Google how to block the YouTube people. Not all you YouTube people, just the annoying ones. When it comes to meal prep, I think that one thing, when you're meal prepping ahead of time, variety gets a little obviously more condensed if you're not cooking fresh food every single night. So what I tell my clients who want more variety when they're meal prepping is do 2 meal preps for the week, right? So do one on Saturday and then do a Tuesday or a Wednesday nighter. So this way you can change up the meals and you're not doing like the same meal all night long. You can shift it. Other than that, the only other way I would recommend meal prepping with more meat variety is to meal prep everything else. So meal prep your grains, meal prep your vegetables, and then when you, and then maybe it's just the meat that you cook the night of, right? Maybe you're doing something quick like a pan sear or something on the grill so that you can get the variety with your meats while you're meal prepping. Okay, so I'm just moving my camera. Can you do, Tamara says, can you do a what I eat in a day video showing how you use your meal prep throughout the day? Yeah, you know what? I'm going to have to do that one of these days. It's probably the most requested video I get. And I'm like a little hesitant to do it because it's like I feel like showing you guys one day isn't really that fair because it, you know, one day can be amazing and one day, you know, isn't. So I got to do a few of them so you can get a real look at like real life. Any tips on meal prepping for a college student on a budget? Yes, absolutely. I would say, you know, go with those bulk items at the grocery store, like rice and beans. Underestimated how amazing, delicious, good for the body, and inexpensive, right? Get a jar of nut butter and a great loaf of Ezekiel bread. Like, I think when it comes to budgeting, it's like you really just got to keep it simple. Look for those simple, doable fuel foods for most of the time. And then when you have the time or you're going out, then you get to kind of get a little more exciting with your food. But I say whole grains, beans, tofu, things that you can stock that last a long time, that you can even buy in bulk, nut butters. And think of getting things in bigger containers, you know, like yogurt. Instead of buying those little individual ones, get like the big container so you can make it go for a longer period of time. Doing things like a college student on a budget, like bulk, you know, do like my breakfast cookies, right? Like if you do a whole bunch of them and then they're just in your fridge and you just take a few at a time, but it's like done and you do one spend and you've got it to go for a long period of time. But overall, I'm thinking frozen fruits and vegetables, whole grains, beans. These are things that can really get you a long way. The Ezekiel toast. And they're all super good for the body. I mean, depends. Someone's saying tofu is bad for you. It depends on the person. It depends on the tofu that you're buying. Okay. I'm going to take a couple more, guys, and then we will wrap it up for this Friday. Someone's saying smoothie and juicing are both bad for you. It's all relative, and I don't think any one thing is good or bad, just blanket statement. So I think that's a hard thing to just blanket statement say. Okay. I love your 5-ingredient quinoa recipes. Can you do more salads and grain recipes? Yes. As the warmer weather comes, guys, I will definitely be doing more salad and grain recipes. Joe says, what do you think of juicing? I think juicing can be extremely powerful, and I think we need to ask ourselves, what is the intention? What are we trying to achieve? I think when the body is in any type of healing state, that juicing can be an amazing addition to your diet. Because basically, if you think of juicing, it's like you're taking all of the nutrients from the food, and you're drinking it, and it's going like there's nothing, because there's no fiber and because there's nothing blocking the juice from being digested. You basically drink it and then it's going straight into cell absorption. And I think that can be amazing if your body is any type of healing state, when you're not feeling well. If you've eaten poorly for a long period of time and you just want to get back on the right foot, I think juice can be really a great way to do that. I think when people are, so that would be from a general health standpoint. I think if you're just trying to lose weight, juice can be tough, because if you're hungry and you're just drinking juice, for a lot of people who are used to eating food, it's not satisfying, right? So now you're just getting like a rush of sugar into the body. You're still getting a lot of nutrients, but you're getting a lot of sugar, right? So don't think that any one way of eating, guys, is right or wrong or good or bad. The body ebbs and flows. The body can be in different places at different times, and you always have to ask yourself, what is my intention? What am I needing? And how would it play into my life and my diet, right? Okay, y'all know that I could chat all day. Also looking for pre-workout snacks. What do you feel? Oh, I lost it. Pre-workout snacks in general, personally, I think it's different for everybody. I love a little carbohydrate in the morning. So to me, something as simple as a banana and my coffee, I'm like as happy as the day is long. But again, that depends on the person. I don't like a lot of food before working out. And if I'm not really hungry, then I'll just have coffee in the morning. So listen to your body. Try one day. Do an egg muffin one day and see how you feel. And please don't. Okay. Oh God, I got sidetracked by reading the comment. Do a banana one morning and see how you feel. Do just coffee one morning and see how you feel. And then you'll know what is best for you and your body. Okay, guys. Okay, so I think I am going to wrap it up there because we've been on for almost 30 minutes. But guys, we will be live every Friday. Many of them will be Q&As. Some of them will be cooking recipes. But thank you so much for watching. My husband's trying to tell me something.
This guy's asking about thyroid recipes. Is there anything specific you have to say for that? You know any?
I know specific recipes for thyroids. I really don't. No. Sorry. I'll look into that. Sorry, I'm actually not super familiar with that. But that's something I will look in for sure. Okay, guys, have a wonderful Friday and a lovely weekend. We will be back Monday with some more clean and delicious recipes. Talk to you guys soon. Bye.